The first order of business, I'll turn the meeting over to Chris. And for the purpose of electing our officers for this year.
Yep, I see we've called to order. We're on item 2, election of officers, recording secretary and solicitor. This is where we, reorganize the board of the authority for the coming year. We need to elect officers, including a president, a chairman, a vice chairman, a treasurer, and a secretary. I don't know. I think what we need in terms of process, we will need, someone to be nominated for the different posts. I guess I'll ask you, Jerry, are you willing to serve as chairman again?
Yes.
Is there anybody who would like to, nominate Jerry? For the
I will
position?
nominate Jerry.
Okay, is there a second for that?
I'd second Mark Sullivan.
Hi, Mark. All in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye. Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, it's approved. Jerry is reappointed as chairman. Our current vice chairman. I'm looking at our agenda. Who is the current vice chairman? Is that Nick?
Nick.
It's me, yeah.
Nick, are you willing to serve again?
I am, Chris. One issue, and this gets into maybe, other matters. I presently no longer live in McCandless. So I had heard from town manager Bob Grimm that there may be a way for me to stay on the board, given that I still live in Allegheny County.
Bob consulted with me, and that's not a legal impediment for your continuing to serve. And
Okay.
if you're willing to serve and the board is willing to appoint you, then that can happen.
Sure. Then yes, I'm willing to continue my term as vice chairman, given that I have, sufficient nomination, et cetera, from my colleagues here. So.
Okay, yeah. Is there somebody who would like to nominate Nick or nominate somebody else?
I would go ahead and nominate Nick. Anybody that steps forward, even when he's not in the township, we should invite on if he wants to do it. So I'd nominate him.
Thanks.
Yeah, I've heard he's good. He's a good guy. So that's just my 2 cents. There are no other nominations. All in favor of reappointing Nick as vice chairman, say aye.
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 Opposed? Nick, you've been reappointed.
Chris, was
yes.
there a second there? I didn't catch a second. I had a nomination by Mark, and then was there a second? Does there need to be?
Let's step back. Is there a second?
I don't.
Yeah, I think we're okay without a second for this position. This isn't, if we're adopting a resolution or approving something else, we need a motion and a second. But this is in effect an election, so with no other nominations having come forward, we're okay. Okay. Treasurer. Mark Sullivan is our current treasurer, I believe.
Yes.
Mark, are you willing? Are you willing to serve again if you are nominated?
Sure, I'd be fine doing that. Look forward to it.
Is there somebody who would like to nominate Mark or somebody else?
I nominate Mark.
I'll second that nomination.
Okay. Anybody else want to nominate anybody? Okay, all in favor of appointing Mark as treasurer, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, Mark, you've been reappointed. Bill McKim, I believe, is secretary.
He is, yes, but he is no
Bill,
longer, he's no longer a member of the MIDA.
Okay, thank you for reminding me of that.
Yes.
Would anybody like to make a nomination for someone to serve as secretary?
Is this a volunteer position since I'm the last one left?
I'll nominate Mr. Ben Gilberti to be secretary.
Second,
Get yourself a bunch of good pens.
Okay.
Bill always had a good pen here. If you're willing, Ben? You go with Ben?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Good. Okay, Ben, you've been appointed secretary.
Thank you.
Okay.
You turn the meeting back to the chairman, right?
We're I guess, we should appoint a solicitor for the coming year. In the past, Eckert Siemens, Sharon Malat has served as solicitor. If somebody wants to move and second for our reappointment or appoint somebody else, this is the time.
I appoint Chris as a solicitor.
Second the nomination.
Okay, any other nominations? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? I believe that Eckert Siemens has been reappointed. I appreciate that. I appreciate working with this group. Wish we had more meetings during the year. I don't get to see you as often as I'd like to. Maybe we can change that this year by getting some deals in. So,
Okay,
okay,
like
that ends item 2, and I'm going to turn it back to Jerry.
thank you. I like that background, Ben.
Thank you. Do you know where it is?
Where, huh?
Do you know where it is by chance?
Looks like it's down the river.
It is on the Allegheny River, just south of Tynesta.
Oh, my heavens.
Oh, nice.
It's absolutely a
Northwestern.
better back. It's absolutely a better background than I have. I've got the back wall of my office behind
Is
me.
that right out your window in the office?
No, I wish. That is covering up all the clutter in my office in the house.
Ah. Okay, that's a good picture in the background then.
I just avoid the clutter in my house by coming to downtown. So that's my solution.
Okay. The approval of the minutes. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes? I didn't, anybody say anybody have any addition or correction? If not, we'll approve the minutes. Minutes will stand approved. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
I think Sandy does a good job there. The
Yeah,
minutes.
can we have a formal motion and second for approval of those, please?
You don't always have to do that with it, but we will.
Let's go ahead and do it.
You
I'll make
move
the
the
motion to accept the minutes.
second.
I'll second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for indulging me.
Do we have any other comments? Treasurer's report, Mark.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I think Sandra circulated a one-page sheet that was at a treasurer's report and reconcilement since the last time we were together. Sandra, you were able to get that around to everybody, right?
Yes.
So it would be at the top in the event that you've got a couple sheets of paper you're looking through, the one that would be dated 2/23/2022. And so what I did was, since the last reconcilement, which was done through 6/30, June 30th of 2021, I took basically the opening balance then in the primary account. Sandra and I identified the checks that had been written. That's the total disbursement number. Again, looking at the bank statements, looked at the collections that had happened, totaled them up, added the interest, and then the ending balance on January 31st, 2022, kind of the most recent period that the statement exists for, is $36,497.50. So the activity on the statements, the activity that Sandra had identified, ties in with the activity and the balance. So the other part of it on the sheet down at the bottom is just a listing of the money market and CD balances as of really the end of January as well. The money market account is $44,526.68. And the CD, which is coming up for maturity, so I know we want to talk about that maybe in a minute, has a balance of $53,058.25. As of when Sandra and I talked a couple of days ago, there were no checks or collections that were kind of pending that hadn't yet been recorded. So this represents a kind of an accurate and true balance in the account right now. Does anybody have any questions about the information that you have either in front of you or the information I just shared?
Anybody?
Nope.
We have a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'd make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Mark, did you go over the audit?
Ask me that one question again.
Pardon?
What did you say, Jerry?
Did you review the audit all right? Did it meet your
Yeah.
satisfaction?
Yes, it did.
We got that one and well, that was a 2020 audit that we
Right.
got. And everything in there looks right to me. Looks
Same
right
here.
to you?
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Our next item of business is any comment, the FNB checking certificate is coming up for renewal.
Correct.
Are we gonna leave that just renew as far as I know?
What maybe we could do, and we've done this the last couple of years, it's probably a prudent thing to do, is to check in with another bank in the township for the exact same term, so that's easy to compare. And I think in previous years, either I or Sandra or prior to Sandra, we just called another bank or two to do that, kind of get them to quote for that dollar amount. Or one, I think we did 1 year maturities, which I think would make sense now. I wouldn't go any longer than that. And now would be the time to do that. I think, Sandra, the CD matures, is it Friday or something? Isn't it coming right?
2/28, so Monday.
On Monday. So you have a little grace period after that, but if we checked in, tomorrow or Friday or Monday or even Tuesday of next week, with both First National, and then I would just pick one other bank in the township, just kind of say, what rates do you have for 1-year CD? And then we just make the decision. Does that seem like an okay course of action to everybody else on the board?
Is Sandra, are you gonna do that, Mark?
Yeah. Sandra, did you do that last year? Do you remember?
I did not.
Okay. How about if between Sandra and I, we just decide kind of, who, and then just make those phone calls or whatever, and then we can take action as long as, I don't see any reason not to pick more or less the highest rate. If there's no difference, probably you keep it as is. If the First National rate is better, then it makes all the sense in the world to just do that. So Sandra, I certainly know who at First National to call, and I could maybe come up with who at one of the other banks in the township that for us to call as well. Okay.
Sure, I'm happy to make a phone call, make two
Okay.
phone calls for sure.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, well, you and Mark work that out, Sandy.
We will.
Okay. I suppose they're all probably just about the same rate anyway.
You probably won't find a lot of difference. Yeah, it's still probably prudent to do a little check, but you probably won't find much difference. That's correct.
Okay. So now, do we have any bills or communications, Sandra?
No,
Any new business?
just the State Ethics Commission's statement of, I'm sorry, the State Ethics Commission Statement of Financial Interest. You should have all received one from me in the mail with a return envelope. I know I've gotten a couple back. But if you could, get those back to me whenever you have time, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, we have to do that every year, and I think they have to be in by May 1st.
I think it's May 5th this year, but yeah, you're right.
And they stay with you. They don't
That's
go
right.
anywhere.
That's right.
All right, we'll take care of that. Is there any other business to come before the board?
Let me mention this, and this, Jerry, this is something that you and I had corresponded about at some point during the last calendar year. There was a point where we were trying to figure out what the authority's fee schedule is for new transactions. You may recall, and we were finally able to find the existing fee schedule, which actually dates back a long time, longer than I thought,
The
to
what?
1983.
The what?
This is the fee schedule that we charge as the authority when we do tax exempt transactions for nonprofits, borrowers. We charge a closing fee and we charge an annual fee,
Right.
which is a not insignificant source of revenue for the authority. I think that there was a point where we contemplated whether we should think about in the near term to maybe adjust the fees based on that schedule. I'm not proposing to do anything at this meeting. What I would propose to do is to circulate our current fee schedule, which it's a sliding scale based on the principal amount of the financing that we're doing,
Right.
with a maximum based on a $10 million financing. Right now, the most we charge for a financing, if it's 10 million or more, is 9,900.
Right.
If we were talking millions, we'd be having different discussions here. 9,900, and then an annual fee which maxes out at 1,850 per year. And those are competitive rates. And one thing that we don't want to do is have our fees be at a level that discourages nonprofits out there from using us to issue their debt on a tax exempt basis. But it seems to me that we might consider an adjustments to the schedule since it dates back almost 40 years now. What I would propose to do to this group is to try to canvass other comparable authorities within Allegheny County to see what they are currently charging. And then I can work with, Jerry and the town to formulate a proposal for an updated fee schedule, which we can consider the next time we meet.
Okay, that sounds fine to me. How about the rest of you? The rest of you people agree?
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds like time for an update.
Yeah, I don't think we're talking about big increases, but one thing that we can address, historically, most of the transactions that this authority has done for nonprofit borrowers have been, 10 million or less, because under the federal tax law, there are tax advantages, particularly for banks and financial institutions, if the debt is 10 million or less, because it's called bank qualified debt. We have encountered a couple of situations in recent years where the authority issued debt in excess of that because the borrower had bigger borrowing needs. And we didn't need to limit ourselves to the 10 million in those cases. And, it seems to me that, we should probably adjust our fee schedule to accommodate a larger transaction than 10 million. Again, we're trying to remain competitive because, there are a lot of the reality is there are a lot of local, IDAs and other authorities in Allegheny County and adjoining counties, which are available to borrowers. And we want to be the one they pick.
Okay,
For
well,
obvious reasons.
check them out and we can talk about that.
I'll put some information together and I'll report back to you, Jerry, and to Bob. And then we can have some discussions, formulate a proposal, and then either, the next time we have a meeting, which hopefully I as your solicitor, I'm always on the lookout for potential transactions that I can bring to the authority. And hopefully we will have a couple this year.
We have another 10
we've had-
million to play with, right?
We have at least 10 million to play with. And if there's somebody out there who wants to issue 20 or 30 million, as happened last year with Family House, we're happy to do that. So, yeah, so we'll put a proposal together, which we can circulate to the board. And then the next time we meet, whether it's in conjunction with a transaction or maybe in 3 months, if we don't have a transaction yet to consider and we have other business to take care of, we'll have a meeting and we'll get to see each other again. So
I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe, well, when I was on council, we extended the MIDA. I believe the year is 2064.
I think we have an extend. I think that's right, 2064, which is important. We do need to do that periodically, just because of the way the state statute works.
Yeah, we had
because
to
we can't issue debt that has a maturity later than the termination of our life.
Right. We did that because we had bonds that were extending out beyond that.
That's exactly right. And so I mean, at 2064, we probably don't need to do that again, but you never know.
I don't think I'll be around in 2064. It just hit me in the when I'm thinking about it that was the year we did that while I was still on council, and we did it because I think we extended it for 30 years. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I will give thought to whether at this point, now that we're 10 years into that, almost 10 years into that 50-year life, whether we should go ahead and proactively extend it for another 50 years from this year, so that we're good till 2072. And again, none of us are ever going to have to worry about that, but I know that lawyers for transactions that we do always like seeing that the life is long.
Okay.
Makes them happy. So
if you feel we need to do it, extend it again, we'll have to do that.
Yeah, it may not be necessary, but especially since we're all talking about it and thinking about it, we can save somebody else having to do it in 10 years or 20 years. So maybe we do it, but let's not go through a process just for its own sake. Let's have a reason for doing that. So,
Okay, when the time's right, we can do it.
exactly. Oh, I'll make sure that it's while you're here, Jerry.
Okay, make sure I'm right track, 2064,
We'll make sure.
okay?
That's all I have.
Any other new business to come up? And our collection of fees is right on schedule, is that correct? Mhm.
Yes,
Sandra, you're just using the same process as you've got your chart that shows the issuer, how much, the dates, and if they send the check in without prompting, fabulous. If they don't send it in, you send a reminder to them, right?
correct.
Do you have
Yeah.
do you have email addresses and contact information? So
I
you're
do.
in good shape on that then. Good.
Yeah, I should be.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to ask Sandra if we're current on that because I know we've had a few to track down in the last year or so.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
And
Perfect.
again, we're going to try to find some new ones to add to your list, Sandra. So
that's any other new business? Any old business that we have to go over? Well, I guess we're ready to meet the next time we have some business to discuss. Do I have a
Yeah.
motion?
Go
Do I
ahead.
have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I might tell you, the library may be coming in with some project. I think Sandy, my computer didn't download the material and I had it sent over to Sandy. So
yes.
she has the material. And I think they're talking about doing a couple big projects. One of them being maybe the security system.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if we, they're repairing the front of the building, they're gonna remodel the whole front. Because the way it was explained to me, it's deteriorating and they can't fix it. So they're repairing it. And when I get all the numbers together, we might, if we're gonna wanna do anything along that line, we can do that. Is there anything else that we might have to meet over until Chris brings us another client?
Working on it. I'm working on
Working
it.
on it. Okay. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Glad to see everybody as well.
And
Thanks,
if-
everyone.
Same here. Thanks, everyone.
Welcome, Ben. Welcome to the team.
If
Thanks.
anybody has any questions and you want to talk to me, I'm not too far away.
Yeah. Oh,